Hello everybody, welcome to our pre-release stream for Legends of the Dead. Over the next hour, we're going to show off some of the new features coming in the DLC. We're joined here by our game director, Alexander Oltner, as well as QA Guy Arter, who will be at the helm of the game for this hour.
One of our most proficient QAs at dying from plagues, in fact.
Yeah, it's a very important thing to do.
Why, thank you.
He has assured the quality of the plague here. We're also joined by one of our programmers and one of our game designers, but they are off camera right now. If you hear them, something has gone terribly wrong. So, hello chat.
Shall we jump right in then?
Yes, we do have snacks.
So Arthur, you're in Ireland. Any particular reason you chose this?
There actually is a very particular reason. One of them being that Ireland, and more precisely Ulster, has a historical legend in there already, which we can take in very, very shortly. However, this legend, like the others, is, as I said, historical. Therefore, pretty much a lot of the rulers can take their own. We wanted to make sure that players have early access to the DLC, and I think this is one of the better ways of doing it.
Yeah, there's quite a few historical legend seeds spread across the map for you to discover. And this is probably one of the ones I didn't even know about. I knew there's quite a few in the British Isles, but this one is one I haven't looked at before. Very cool.
Yeah, so I think we can honestly start it, really. Let me just unpause the game. I have already completed most of the requirements for it. We just have to wait for a bit of gold, really. That's
Absolutely.
all.
You have a completely legitimate amount of prestige for starting in 1066.
Straight up. Only 10 days have passed and I'm already genius at the game. No biggie over here. Let's speed it up so we actually get the gold. And now we can create a legend. It is said that in the Ireland's early days, a promise was made that the first to lay their hands on Ulster will be given a claim to it and be made the High King of Ireland. It was our ancestor who had the wit to slice off his own hand and hurl it into Ulster, staining the emerald grass with the blood. The description reflects it as the legend type. It is a legitimizing legend. As such, will give mostly renown. The promoters will get a stewardship bonus, which is quite powerful, I would say. And our lands will receive a development, growth, and popular opinion.
Yeah.
All of these are very much dependent on the quality of your legend. So,
yeah, worth noting is that those are modifiers you get while it's being spread, right?
It is true. Also, after you complete the legend, your legend will persist onto your lands for a while, and those bonuses will be still there. So, why not create it? We can create a legend about ourselves, really. We can create it about our father, our daughter, pretty much close family. Creating it about someone that was before us will grant us higher legitimacy because, why not? We're basically making up a story about some guy saying, yeah, he totally did it, right? Obviously. But for now, let's create a legend about ourselves. These are the rewards if we complete them in these tiers. The famed one being the first one, the mythical being the third. So, let's create it. So.
In chat, is this the King Arthur? Yes, it is indeed the King Arthur sitting over there at the helm.
Totally legit prestige.
Yeah, so
that's legit.
This is the story that is being written in front of your eyes as you play the legend, and events can affect this in various ways.
Yep. There are multiple events that affect this. This is, as Oltner said, your story that you make throughout the game. This text over here will be changed as you progress through the game as well. There are many events where you can, for example, say, oh, I've slain a bear. And people will be like, yeah, sure, totally. But then you can say, like, I've destroyed a dragon. And they'll be like, now did you now? We'll see about that one. Naturally, these are events, so it depends on your skills. However, it's very funny seeing that even the name of the legend can actually change. If it's like a heroic legend and you slay a dragon, it will be changed to Slayer of the Dragon.
Yep. Someone is pointing out the stewardship you can get. So this is a modifier that you have while the legend is active. until it has vanished from, well, not vanished from people's memories, but it's not the hot thing anymore. So there's also a good reason to promote someone else's legend if you happen to have one in a neighboring realm.
That is true. Promoter gets currently 1 more stewardship and 0.01 renown a month.
Exactly. So someone could trade a bit of gold for more stewardship, at least temporarily,
That's true.
with this particular legend.
That's true. Promoters, actually, if they promote your legend, the legend will spread through their lands as well. So it is very good to keep in mind where you want to actually go as well. For example, you want to make friends with King of England, then the legend is much more likely to spread over there as well. So right now, we can pause the game.
So someone is asking if there's a special legend for becoming Genghis Khan. I do believe that there is legend drops for almost every major decision you can take.
That is true. Restoring Holy Roman Empire and restoring Roman Empire, Holy Roman Empire, I believe as well. Major decisions, but also gameplay-wise as well. For example, there's a small chance if you conquer a kingdom to actually get a legendary seed from that.
Yeah, there's many ways of getting legendary seeds, such as being the steward of a holy site, for example, etc. There's tons of them. We will go into that later as well when we have some other people here. I guess you can play for a little bit, try to spread the legend as much as possible, and maybe there's some other questions coming in from outside of the chat.
Yes. We have a question from Lord Maboy on Twitter. Will there be plague doctors with matching outfits in Legends of the Dead?
I can take this one. So, short answer, no. The outfit that we know as the Plague Doctor appeared in 1650s. So it is over medieval times by 200 years, unfortunately. So it's just not medieval.
No sick bird beak masks. The sacrifices we make for historical accuracy.
Yes, we try to be a historical game. There is actually plenty of new assets. You might be able to show some of them off in the barbershop, or actually just appoint a court physician because they should update their clothes.
That is very true. Let me do that right now.
Any more questions in the meantime?
Aka Plays from Discord wants to know if we have any plans for new start dates in the future.
Yes, but no more details than that.
So, yes, but that's all we're saying. We also have a question from Latveria3817 from YouTube. Can we have more collaborations with modders?
Definitely. I think the first community content pack is a good example of what we want to do more of going forward, collaborating with our modders. In fact, to do this, we also introduced some modding features into the base game to make things easier. So it's a give and take.
Fantastic.
In that sense, you know, we actually added a bunch of features such as coat of arms on clothes earlier, based on modding requests.
Fantastic. We have a question from Obamium on Discord. Are there plans for an in-game music player?
Maybe.
Maybe. We'll think about it. And Tricklefic from Reddit wants to know, are there any plans to add later bookmarks to play closer to the historical start of the Black Death?
Maybe.
Works for me.
You can keep playing for a little bit if you want to.
I want to talk about it though.
Oh, okay. Well, feel free to talk a little bit about the legend content. Actually, in the event window, you can also see that we have added new effects that can play during certain events.
That is true. With this update, we've added event VFX. So right now, a lot of the events will have their own VFX, like we can see right now. The legendary one has a shining beams of light, which correspond to legends. As the more it spreads out, it will be actually reflected on the map as well. It will have the same exact rays. However, with like I said, in here we can see that this event, for example, will change the chapter of my legend. Naturally, there are also more bonuses with it. However, let's say that I did it for myself. I'm like that, right? And I believe, yep, this is the ray that we can see right now. This is the provinces that our legend has spread into. And as more it spreads, and I believe the bigger level it
Someone
does.
started promoting it now.
That's true. Someone has started promoting it. It's a Petty King Gudrod, I believe.
Oh, it's in Western Scotland.
That's true. So the legend should have a higher chances of spreading over here right now as well, because he is currently promoting it.
Seeing a few people in chat asking, what time does the DLC release? We don't have a guaranteed release time, but typically we aim for around 6 o'clock Central European time. Again, not guaranteed. If it's not out at exactly 6 o'clock, don't yell that it's late. It's not late. It arrives exactly when it's meant to.
Good things come to those who wait.
Exactly.
Any more questions?
Oh, let's see. I have a lot of questions here, but are we going to get coronations at some point? From Gandalf XLD6180 on YouTube.
Well, there's no plans for it right now. But as with anything that is a potential activity, it could happen. It's either going to be that or other activities, because the activity system is very malleable and flexible.
We have another question from John Havlicek from Twitter. Any plans for republics or nomads?
Maybe.
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 Lots of maybes over here.
There's a lot of... Yeah, exactly. Interesting set of questions today, I have to
I got to
say.
bring in the hard-hitting questions. The people want to know if we're going to have nomads. And the answer is maybe.
Maybe.
We might. Just have to wait and see.
Is there anything going on with your legend? It's spreading quite far, I see.
It is spreading very much.
Yeah.
There are a few tricks up my sleeve that I can use to spread it a bit more. I can show off them one right now. There's a few, actually. One of them is, as you can see in the window of legends, we have a court chronicler. I can appoint a lot of people. This one has excellent steward aptitude, so let's put him in. And right now, the courtiers have their own task as well. For example, the court chronicler can search for legends. If you do not have, for example, a legendary seat, a historical one or a dynamic one, he can make stuff up, so to say. For example, you've battled with Satan. It's like, sure, yeah, that totally happened, you know. How many people believe your legend? Naturally, depends on how well you spread it, really. If you're unlikable, or if you're a, say, Viking adventurer in a faraway land, it's not going to be that easy to spread your legend. Also, he has a extra domestic legend. Naturally, it gives you a legend spread. However, this one costs quite a bit. This one costs 1 gold 40. In later games, it can be even up to 10 gold a month. So you wanna make sure that you know what you're doing when it comes to gold and spending your legend. And command legend abroad. Every year, one of your vassals or neighboring rulers may make your legend their own legend, so they become a promoter. That's one of the main ways of spreading a legend. I have a few more. One of them being friends with someone that are way more inclined to spread your legend. And the other one is attending in activities and making a legendary feast. Attending other feasts and spreading your legend like a total Chad that you are. Because who doesn't love going to a party and just talking about himself, right? So we're going to show off that later. But right now we have another event saying that, am I worthy?
Yeah, there's also other court positions with tasks now. Do you want to show off the new court position screen for a bit?
That's true.
Because it's been updated for this version of the game.
We have a court physician. As you can see, I have appointed a advanced research task. Gives him a more lifestyle experience. We have a control plagues, which gives me 10 plague resistance for counties. So if you're being struck by plague, that's a pretty good way to start. And we have monthly piety, more for me. Naturally, all of these costs. I believe there's more. I am not exactly sure which ones right now. But
You're also not a king, so you might not have the rest.
that's true.
But one of the tasks was to control plagues. Are there any plagues nearby?
There should be. King William's flu. Let's take a look at this one. There's actually a few, but there's only one nearby. Let's see where it is.
Oops.
Oops.
King William's flu. Well, I guess we can conclude who won the battle for England then.
Yeah, I think that's a very easy check right here. Oh,
King William the Conqueror wins immediately. God punishes him and he loses legitimacy.
that's true, yeah. If people back then believed that plagues and kings were divine in some way, so if you were struck by a plague, you naturally lost legitimacy. People did not seem you worthy. If a plague struck your land, God forbid, you're not a good king.
And you can see the new county information as well. You see control growth, development, growth or decline, and some colorization near culture and faith. Or faith has always been red if it's not the top leash faith, I believe. And you can see the plague down there by the terrain.
That's true. Over here, you can also see plague resistance. So it's a pretty good way of actually checking it. And yeah, the plague will actually show you what kind of bonuses and malls you're getting.
Yeah,
You lose development.
the double arrows down means bad.
That means very bad.
Very,
yeah.
very bad.
Later on, we'll get to Black Plague. That levels the playing field quite a bit.
Okay. Another question from Discord here from Matom. Will there be new soundtracks in Legends of the Dead?
Yes.
I think we've got some pretty good music coming with this one.
Yeah, mood music and stinger tracks, etc.
There we go. We have one of the events that allows me to convince people to spread the legend of Ulster. So, yeah,
It's one of my favorite new event backgrounds as well.
I really like it. The event backgrounds for the major decisions, such as Black Death and completing the legend, are also very beautiful. Our artists went, I think, above and beyond for these, especially for, I believe it was legitimizing legend with the trees. Yeah, that
You
was
can show
really
off maybe a little bit of the Dynasty legacy track, even though it's grayed out. You can see some of it.
good. That's true. With Legends of the Dead, we have more legacy tracks. Yes, they are very grayed out. However,
Yeah, very hard to see.
can I use console? I don't think I can use console.
No,
commands to
don't
show
use
them
it.
off. They're made in inspired way of the medieval tapestry, so it really fits into the theme of actually legends, some of the fairy tales even, I would say.
Any more questions?
Yes. Musasha from Discord wants to know, can we get a culture tenant to eat your dead ritualistically?
I believe this was in the plans, but cut due to time, unfortunately. It was just a little bit too niche.
Yeah.
That's not to say that someone won't make it in the future, of course.
So, not in this update, but maybe in the future, ritualistic cannibalism will...
Far future.
Oh, yeah, yeah. RG the Proud from YouTube wants to know, will court grandeur impact legitimacy?
Not court grandeur directly, I believe, but holding court and such definitely will. I mean, grandeur probably will affect it as well. This is more of a Veronica question. I can see her gesturing wildly to me from behind the scenes. We actually made a conscious effort to try to hook legitimacy into as many places as we possibly could, which means that we have been updating things all the time for months, hooking it into every single conceivable system where it makes sense to have.
See, one question from Twitch here. Will you ever add events with magic?
There's no plans for that. We don't need to right now. I mean, as far as magic goes, things like this, where people believe, is way more interesting, because this is actual medieval history. Legends and all the myths surrounding them.
Like, you know, of course, he didn't actually fight a dragon, but, you know, with enough convincing, maybe your ancestor did.
Yes, and people did believe this.
Emotional Meaning 82 from Reddit wants to know, have there been any changes to the death screen?
No.
No.
I do not believe so, at least. Well, maybe we will see whenever a plague rolls by.
No, I'm thinking Black Death nearly guarantees an answer to that question.
Are there any special buildings to help deal with pandemics?
There is?
Yeah, but
actually.
not special buildings. There are normal buildings and a duchy building line, I believe. You can show them off.
Yep, I will right now. I get a necklace. We have a building over here. Hospices, which will grant me 5 plague resistance. I believe churches can also build this and cities. So if you really want to, you can buff up your plague resistance. That does not mean that you're invincible from the plague. We have made a very conscious decision to, even if you have high plague resistance, you should still watch out for it.
Yeah. There are no guarantees. Also, I think in churches you can build scriptoriums, which help. I think they're called scriptoriums.
They are, yes.
Yes, that help spread legends
Mm-hmm.
and give a little bit of legitimacy.
There
Tiny bit. Legitimacy gains work very similarly to stress. That when you get a chunk, any modifiers you have will modify the chunk of legitimacy you get.
That's true. Legitimacy is also a bit more complex. We have expected legitimacy, which is very important. And we also have your actual legitimacy. For example, if your expected legitimacy is 4, because you are an emperor, you better get that expected legitimacy or they're going to be mad at you.
Okay, we've got people from the control booth gesturing at us. We have to wrap up for our first intermission. Thank you for joining us. We will be replacing you.
All right.
So say
I'm
bye.
fine with this.
Yeah, we're kicking you off the stream. We'll be back in a few minutes. In the meantime, here's a video for highlighting legends in Legends of the Dead.
Hello everybody, my name is Havoc, and I create gameplay videos and guides on some of your favorite strategy games. And I'm collaborating today with Paradox Interactive to give you the rundown on Crusader Kings 3's expansion Legends of the Dead, honing in on legends themselves. Let's dive in, starting with, what are legends and how to get them? Legends represent the important deeds that a character has achieved in life, be it past or present, and they have some serious implications. They are obtained from legend seeds, which can all be found in the Legends tab by your character. These seeds come in 3 types: heroic, holy, and legitimizing, each with their own effect modifiers, creation costs, and maintenance, and require a certain level of piety or prestige to even enact. And exactly how do you obtain a legend seed in the first place? Well, there are a lot of ways actually. Certain regions of the map may contain old myths that you can latch onto, such as a direct lineage of Arthur Pendragon. Or you could take down an epic animal during a hunt. Even have your court chronicler fabricate a potentially suitable legend. Say that your grandfather killed a dragon. Whatever the method, once you've accepted the legend and you've taken a look at the legendary story thus far, it's only just begun, and you're now known as the legend protagonist, as well as potentially any member of your family 16 years or older where the legend is available. So now what? Well, now you have to let the world know by spreading your legend. Legend qualities range from famed to illustrious and even mythical, with the ability to upgrade the quality by meeting both the upgrade costs and having the legend spread to a certain number of baronies. Upgrading these qualities will further enhance the benefits you receive from them, with legitimizing leading to massive claims on territories, holy down the path to sainthood, and heroic allowing you to pursue a legendary adventure. Your legend spreads through 2 main forces. First of these are events. These have a wide range of outcomes, while having the ability to write the story of your legendary status, or alter it if things aren't quite going your way. You can do this through loosening your purse, convincing an old friend, or perhaps even twisting a few arms. As your legend expands and spreads through these events, there's the chance to discount the cost of upgrading, so it's possible to have a fast and easy way to success if you play your cards right. For a more strategic focus though, you can nab yourself a great court chronicler or a musician to extol domestic legend, which increases the chance of spreading your legend, or commend legend abroad, which will see one of your vassals or neighboring rulers make your legend their own. By having other characters take this on, they can then become a legend promoter by coughing up a wee bit of gold in exchange for a chunk of the same benefits you receive yourself. When both conditions are met, upgrading the quality brings greater benefits, while the transition from fame to illustrious being far more simple than the next step to mythical. And as your legend events trigger, you'll be able to not just secure your status as a legend, but lay the foundations for future generations to follow suit. That's the hope anyways. That wraps up this video on Legends in Crusader Kings 3 and the Legends of the Dead expansion. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be taking a look at another legendary piece to this expansion, albeit in a much more rap-filled manner with plagues, so be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. It's to die for.
Hello again, everybody. As you can see, our game director has left us, and in his place is one of our talented game designers, Veronica.
Hello.
Hello. So, picking up where we left off from, we're still in Ireland, promoting Legends.
Having a nice time.
Yeah, we're having a wonderful time here.
Chill,
Absolutely.
moisturize, and my best behavior.
Exactly. So, questions from YouTube chat. Andrea wants to know, can I have a pet rat?
No. I mean, in real life, if you want to, really, you can, but not in the game. But maybe later. We don't
Maybe
know.
later. Maybe. Maybe. Aaron from YouTube wants to know, are plagues going to be something you always have to worry about, or is it an occasional thing?
So, yes and no. Like, you're always gonna have to worry about plagues if you do not turn on off the game rules. So we have game rules for everything. We have game rules for both the frequency of the plagues, the Black Death start date, like if you want it historical, if you want it organic, like when development is like high, or if you want it like random and just die. So yeah, if you get tired of plagues, you can just literally turn them down, but you're always gonna have to worry a bit about plagues, like in real life.
Lovely. Thukad from YouTube wants to know, do isolationist cultures and faiths get bonuses to plague resistance?
Actually, they do. So very early on in development, I was setting the initial spread for like plagues, and I couldn't get plagues to get out of the Ganges because it was the only high development like part of the world, and that was a nightmare. And then when I managed to get them out of the Ganges, they just couldn't go into Sicily because it was like, or was it Sardinia? One of them was isolationist, and I just couldn't get into the island, and it made me mad. But yes, isolationist cultures get bonuses.
Fantastic. Will religions with reincarnation tenets gain some sort of bonus to legitimacy?
Sadly, no. Maybe in the future when we tackle like religion at some point of our lives, which I guess is not a spoiler that at some point it will gonna happen. Maybe we'll revise this, but not at the moment.
Right. Give me a moment to figure out how to pronounce this name.
Yeah.
Kahinitlik from Discord wants to know, will there be a legend seed for the Sons of Lothbrok in 867?
Yes, there is. We actually forgot. So we remembered to add it like towards the end of the development cycle. It was very funny because someone just was playing like as them and was like, "Hey, what is Ragnar? Like, what is the seed?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, that would be sick." So it's in.
Legend of Ragnar Lothbrok is definitely in.
Yeah.
A lot of people can lay claim onto it, so you better be the one who's first.
R Nevermore from Reddit wants to know, with the idea of legitimacy and spreading legends being added to the game, have you considered adding scandals to the game?
Yes, we have. We could, like, at some point, no promises, but it's the same as, people asking for, like, negative legends. Like, we are aware that, some rumors and stuff, like scandals, were very much in circulation during this time. We don't have them here because we wanted to focus on legends being the counterpoint for, sadness and death, literally. But maybe in the future.
So.
Maybe TM.
Maybe. Rolfer Who from the Paradox Forum wants to know, can players steal a legend?
They cannot steal a legend. They can promote your legend, and then they can try to basically get gold from you to get them to promote your legend, and then kind of ditch you. But you cannot steal the legend itself.
They can't usurp you as the protagonist of a legend.
No, you cannot.
Okay.
What are you doing, Arthur, by the way?
I am playing through a legendary feast, actually.
No way!
Oh my god!
In Legends of the Dead? And what do legendary feasts do?
It's one of the tools that we have, or tools. It's one of the ways that you can actually use to spread your legend. So, like I said, you can host an activity in which your basic goal is to spread the legend. However, you can also choose an intent for spreading your legend as well. And that will give you pretty good bonuses for the legend spread. So right now we can see that it's basically spread throughout the entire island. And it's gonna spread more. It's actually starting to spread in the proper British Isles.
You got a plague.
I got a plague, yes.
What
That's
plague do you have?
Let's see. So we can easily check it by going here. It is a romantic plague. It's a minor consumption. Started in Earldom of Fomont. These are the moles.
Happens to the best of us.
Happens to the best of us.
Actually, this is very good because consumption, or like tuberculosis, like nowadays, is kind of endemic or like more present in the Atlantic coast. So we created a special consumption zone that just kind of spreads. Romantic plague was actually the name it was known in like medieval times. So that's why it has that white plague too. But yeah.
Yeah, a question from Twitch here. What is your favorite Kingdom Hearts game, and why is it Kingdom Hearts 2?
It's actually Kingdom Hearts 2. Anyone saying otherwise is just wrong. But all Kingdom Hearts games are good, except the Raindrop Distance and 3, and the mobile game, and the gacha. But Kingdom Hearts 2 is the best. Thanks for asking.
Shapur from Discord. Will forming a kingdom for the first time net a legend seed?
There is a drop chance. So, for example, if you go from like Count or Duke to King, there is a chance that you may get a legend. Also, if you go to Emperor also, there is like a chance. It's not guaranteed, but it can happen. And then you can be like the Duke that became a king.
The easiest way of getting it is actually playing as Duke William the Bastard and winning the conquest for England. You have a pretty good chance of actually getting a legendary seat over there.
Yeah, it was kind of a big deal, we could say.
Right now,
Adele RK from YouTube. Can I create a new artifact with legends?
Actually, you can. If you go into decisions, Arthur.
I don't think this decision shows right now because I
I
haven't
think
completed.
the IC shows is just grayed out. The second
Oh, yeah.
one.
This one.
Yeah. So if you complete a legend, and before it completely disappears from people's minds, which takes, some years, or decades even, I could say, you can create like a chronicle that literally retells your legend. So even after, it's completed, you still have a little book, and if you hover over the description, it will say the text from the chronicle. So it's like really cute.
It's one of the ways you can actually remember the legend and still have the text of what they actually done
Yeah.
in the game.
And the modifiers that it gives you are actually related to the type of legend that you finish. So if it's like a religious legend, like a holy legend, you will get piety out of it instead of, prestige or anything else.
That decision do be pricey though.
Do be pricey.
Do be pricey.
Chronicles were so expensive. Like medieval books were so expensive, especially manuscripts. Like mostly manuscripts, because otherwise we're very late in medieval times.
Get a question from Twitch here. Will executing the Pope or dismantling the papacy create a legend seed?
No. I don't think people in medieval times could be like, wow, that's so sick that you killed the Pope. So it doesn't give you...
It depends on who you're asking.
Yeah, it depends, but it doesn't give you a legend seed at the moment.
So
Maybe
at the moment, maybe later.
maybe if we do a Pope killing expansion, again, no promises, but then it could be rad.
What an idea.
Yeah.
So right now, I'm currently waiting for the spread of legend to be up to 100 counties. This is when I can increase the quality. It will naturally cost me a bunch. However, as some of the more keen-eyed viewers have seen, certain legends do be giving you a discount. Certain events do be giving you a discount to the upgrade of the legend. It is either minor or very minor. It is about 10, 15 gold, I believe. However, that does make a difference, especially right now when I'm promoting my legend. I am very, very poor because I am spending a lot of money on it.
Yeah, they do be pricey.
They do be pricey. So while, yeah, they do be pricey. It's as simple as that, really.
Yeah.
So Rudai from Steam wants to know if you can create a custom legend seed from scratch.
Not from scratch now. You can use your core chronicle to create a legend for you, like a legend seed for you, and be like, oh yeah, we totally actually found that you're related to this guy, or your grandpa did actually this super cool thing, and then you can get like seeds in that way, but you cannot just type into the console.
So if there's not any good historical ones around, you can essentially fabricate a seed.
You can fabricate it.
Yep.
Which, kind of depends on who you ask, with the whole Joffrey of moments being like, oh yeah, you totally come from Troy.
It's not so easy to get a legendary seed either. It is rare, but it is worth it.
Nice.
Also, one other thing I wanted to bring attention to. My ruler is balding.
Oh my god!
With Legends of the Dead, we've added my worst nightmare, which is becoming bald. And we can see that this hairstyle do be balding.
That's so cool. Can he go actually like fully bald?
I believe there's a rare chance for that. Balding is also a gene, so if any of your dads are bald, I have some pretty bad news. I know for me, I'm gonna be not so pretty looking in a few years.
I play video games to get away from real life.
Yeah, I was like, that's not very male fantasy of us.
Rana DL from the Paradox Forum. What are some of the most exciting legends that are in the DLC?
Oh, I mean, obviously King Arthur, present here with us today. I would say Ragnar also pretty interesting. Everyone knows about Ragnar. Personal favorite of mine is actually the Red Hand of Ulster. So I was very happy that we picked this start. So
100% random, by the way.
Calculated.
Yeah. Are your kids dying from the plague, by the way?
They very much are, yes. The consumption.
That's so cool.
The consumption do be getting them, and
Yeah.
I hope I won't lose too much kids.
If you have an overconsumption, by the way, does it have special penalties for children or old people? Because that's something new we also added.
That's true. Right now, it's very clearly says child penalty and
Yeah.
elderly penalty. There are plagues that are much, much more deadly to the children and elderly. I don't believe at the top of my head. However, they do be getting their fair share of kills.
Yeah.
Did you just get consumption?
I did get consumption, yes.
That's
and
so
Congratulations.
I'm probably gonna die because Well,
You seem pretty healthy to me. Apart from the balding.
we will see what happens with the legend after I die.
Ooh.
Unless my heir also dies of consumption, then it's gonna be.
Oh, he also has...
There we go.
You died.
So, as you can see, there are no changes to the death screen. I think that's a question we had before. Also, literally skill issue.
9 years, that's very sad.
Yeah, you didn't really prepare, I would say.
No, I did not. There are a few ways you can prepare against an epidemic.
But that's for later when Matthew joins, so he doesn't kill us for talking about the plague right now.
That's true. That's true. We will be going for the biggest one of them all, which is Black Death.
Yeah.
We'll actually see the spread from the steppe, and we'll see that the spread will be actually kind of historical. But right now, still legends. As we can see, the legend is still here. However, I died. Right. Here are the legendary seeds of me, but I can very much start owning this legend again. Oh my god!
That's so cool.
If you have brothers or sisters that are very much capable of maintaining a legend of their own, they will also try to get that legend as well. They usually wait around a few months, so you actually have time. However, if your brother is much more powerful, expect him to grab that legend.
That's cool. So you can be like, oh yeah, my dad totally killed a dragon. I love that. That's wholesome.
It will actually also persist the person that you created legend for in this screen over here, which has an amazing filter, by the way. I love that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. Like this whole screen, like the Legend Chronicle thing, looks so pretty. It also changes with culture. So like this is like the Western one, but there is one for like, Mena and the steppes and whatever.
The Viking one looks really
The
very
Viking
good.
one looks cool too.
Yep. This details also change depending on how which level legend it is. So after we get about 100 baronies, you will see some changes over there.
Oh look,
Oh my
a
god!
sickly man wants to spread your legend. Happens all the time.
He's not sick. He's
Oh,
just
he's
walking
not
around in
sick.
pajamas.
Oh, he's just a accent.
Wow. You know what? Sure, why not? He is a German person, and I guess incorrectly. It is what it is.
Got a Twitch question. Does Haraldur Tanglehair have a legend related to unifying Norway?
I'm not sure, actually.
Tanglehair, yes, he does,
I think
actually.
he does. Oh, really?
He does have a legend seed that he is fully capable of getting before he unifies Norway as well, if you play your cards right. And yeah, 100%. One of my favorite starts, actually, in Legends of the Dead. Because not only you can raid easy, two, he's a Viking, he also has a legendary seed, so, you know, the best of all worlds, really.
All right, we've got the control room gesturing at us again, which means that it's time for you to leave us, Veronica.
My pleasure.
We're also going to abandon this campaign here and pick up a fresh one to show off the Black Death, because that's why people are here. And we will be joined by our programmer, Matthew, for that section. For now, stick around. We're going to show off our Plagues tutorial video that H for Havoc did for us, and we'll be right back after that.
Hello everybody, my name is Havoc, and I create gameplay videos and guides on some of your favorite strategy games. And today I'm collaborating again with Paradox Interactive to give you the rundown on Crusader Kings 3's expansion, Legends of the Dead, this time focusing on an infectious mechanic, plagues. So wash your hands, because we're about to dive in, starting as always with, what are plagues? Plagues are diseases that, much like legends, can spread across your realm, albeit full of death and destruction rather than hope and inspiration. Any barony with a holding can be the epicenter of an outbreak, with factors such as development, terrain, the number of buildings, even the types of buildings like a port or a market, cultural era, and of course, the game rules that you set yourself. Plague spread is naturally affected by these factors as well, with some additional features such as the ability to jump up to 2 sea provinces or a barony's immunity factor to infection of the same strain once they've recovered. Baronies have an infection rate that signifies how much of said barony is infected, with thresholds inflicting negative modifiers to the barony and its holder. There are several new types of plagues that can now ravage your realm, with some new additions bringing in the wonderful sufferings of holy fire, bloody flux, and measles. However, some more original diseases like smallpox and typhus now have evolved into proper plagues as well. Each one has its own unique set of health traits for the infected, and their effects are certainly something you'll want to keep an eye on, as most plagues hit elderly characters the most severe, while things like the measles more affect children. Plague intensity is also a consideration in how you react to the situation, fueling the spread rate and how long your characters may be infected. You might choose a more gentle solution to a minor plague, but should the Black Death enter your realm, it's an apocalyptic level event, desperation may call for burning it all down if necessary. Word also gets around fast in Crusader Kings 3, and it is definitely worth keeping an eye on both your own realm plagues, but also those that may be nearby, and even world plagues. With a plague's ability to travel from realm to realm on the aforementioned factors, a plague half a world away now may be on your doorstep in a matter of years. With all this doom and gloom around plagues though, surely there's something you can do to fight it, right? Absolutely. So let's take a quick look at fighting the plague. First, it has to be said that none of these methods are surefire ways to prevent your realm from either catching the plague or keeping characters completely safe. Plagues serve no master, and even the most resistant character could catch it. However, we can take a look at plague resistance, which is one of the best ways to buffer against them. One of the most cost-effective solutions is through your court physician, who now has the control plagues task, boosting your plague resistance based on their aptitude. Your court physician will also be the go-to person in determining how to stop the spread of whatever plague is present, which provides those options of gentle or desperation, oftentimes with some potentially interesting methods. The next best solution lies in your buildings, both at the basic level with hospices or the duchy level burial site. Although costly, these remain constants in your realm and well worth building or upgrading in the later start date where plagues are more frequent. Lastly, you have a couple of decisions to both isolate your capital and protect you and your close family by entering seclusion. The former directly increases plague resistance for your realm, with the latter obviously more personal, Although coming at a decrease to all skills, it may be well worth it in these terrible times to increase the likelihood of survival. And on that dreadful note, we wrap up this video on Plagues in Crusader Kings 3 and the Legends of the Dead expansion. Thank you so much again for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel to make sure you're always up to date with all things Crusader Kings 3. This is Havoc with a fond farewell.
Welcome back, everybody. We are joined by Matthew, the sickest programmer on the CK3 team, and code owner for Legends of the Dead.
Hello. And because we had complaints we weren't eating the chips here, so just this is for you, chat. You happy now? Delicious.
They were telling us to eat the snacks. I'm not going to eat the snacks. Okay, let's start us off with a question from YouTube. Goldboy Animate. Does war affect the spread of Legends?
The war itself doesn't affect the spread of Legends, but depending on your actions in war, you may or may not get some Legend seeds from it. And war will have impacts on your legitimacy as well. Speaking of impacting your legitimacy, Arthur, we're in a new save from the looks of things.
That we are. We're in a much, much later save. As you can see, the start date is not an accidental one. We're about to witness the full destruction of the medieval world, basically.
Excellent.
If I unpause for a while, a Black Death is guaranteed to spawn, as it does historically, because that is our game setting. And we'll see until it comes, basically.
I'm gonna watch the Black Death come through and ravage basically everything. So now is all things plagues. So if you have any plague questions, or you want to see Arthur get killed live on stream, we've got you.
We're saving that for the season finale.
Oh, okay.
Question from Kromeshnik on Discord. Will chemical warfare be in Legends of the Dead?
There is no medieval chemical warfare as it stands. However, plagues that start in your lands will cross over into your enemies. And if you are traveling throughout someone's lands and they have nasty ass diseases, you're at a risk of catching those.
So, as we can see, the Darkening Horizon, it's here. It's about to destroy us, basically. I looked and behold, a green horse. As we can see, the plague icon has its own very special icon, because that's gonna be rough.
I don't think we can see
Yeah,
that.
your face
actually.
is over the plague icon.
Really off.
You're blocking the icon, Arthur.
I'm blocking the icon.
But it gets extra angry rats.
It's rough. You will see.
If you want to see some angry rats as well, we can zoom out a little bit.
Oh yeah, there are some angry rats.
And we should be able to
Right
see
over
in the
there.
corner some angry rats. So,
Very
as you can
ominous.
see on the new beautiful map table, this
That's
one
true.
specifically coming with Legends of the Dead.
That's true. However, the Black Death is here, as we can see. It's already showing as one of the tooltip plagues, despite my face hiding it either way. And we can see that it's spawned pretty historically, right over the steppe. So if I unpause the game right now,
The steppy, ooh.
please stop. We're gonna see that, oh yeah, it do be spreading.
Yeah, and if you keep it on that map mode, you can see that it spreads quite quickly. And the more, it's kind of just a compounding effect. The more provinces it spreads to, the more provinces it will spread to. And it's going to keep going until it very quickly hits your lands.
One of the defining factors for Black Death spread is as soon as it gets to the open body of water, like Crimea over here in the Black Sea, it's gonna spread throughout the entire Europe.
Yeah, so the epidemics spread somewhat realistically. Like we've tried to make it mostly systemic instead of like hard coding spreads. So they will spread based off of development and certain buildings like trade ports. So that's kind of models the interaction between the local populace and trade as far as we've currently got it within the game. And once you get to a body of water, the epidemics can also spread across 2 sea provinces. So nowhere is safe. You can't just go and hide in an island unless it's very, very far away from everything. So yeah, as you can see, it's already spreading much more than pretty much every other plague. If you open up the world infections, we can have a look at what as well. Damn, look at that.
That's a good spread over there.
60, 70 people dead already. We can have a look if you go into the Black Death. We can have a look at the world infections if you click. So the window will show you the different infections of different independent realms, basically. When it hits our land, it will also show that. And it shows how infected every barony is. Every barony stores their infection rate as well as some epidemic resistance based off of different buildings, their court physician, if they're isolating. So you can see exactly how infected things are everywhere. This is a kind of a summary of average infection in the realm, with each different threshold applying different modifiers on the per barony. So you can see in this gigantic big tooltip, it's a thick boy, this one, that the Black Death as well specifically has some pretty punishing impacts. So I wouldn't like it to be at my house, that's for sure.
Now let's see it go to the Europe.
Yeah, there we go. Now it's starting to spread. And as you can see, there's actually multiple plagues in the top right of the screen. So every plague has like an order of which one's the most coolest that we show on the map, but you can have multiple plagues affecting one province, which when the Black Death happens is quite likely. It will just run over anywhere, doesn't matter if it's already infected, it will become even more dead.
I paused the game on this very specific time because, as we can see, the Black Death reached the river and it pretty much infects everything on that path. It also reached the body of water and it just immediately goes on the coast. So as we can see, it's about to go into Europe over here. And
You can see it following the rivers.
yeah,
Those damn Europeans.
It does follow the rivers. Yes, the spread is quite... we try to keep it very, very realistic. And as you can see, it gets everywhere right now.
Yeah, not very nice. And when you zoom in without this map mode open, or you see the black tendrils and blood splattered across the regular map. Really disgusting looking from our wonderful tech artist.
Got a question from Timmy on Discord. Is it possible for 2 or more plagues to be in the same barony at a time?
Yes, as we just said, you can have, in theory, every plague. We have balanced it so that we won't spawn everything all the time. But you can have multiple plagues there. The Black Death is very common to spawn and infect you even if you've got another minor or major plague there.
If there are 2 of the same plagues, the same types?
You cannot have 2 of the same types. If 2 of the same type of plague ever meet, they will merge into one giga plague, which on most plagues will make them stop spreading because they've probably hit the threshold of the kind of combined infection. But it does lead to some nice things. If you see 2 little small plagues joined together, they become one bigger one. And it takes the worst values of the 2 effectively. So if a major plague meets with a minor, it will just be one very big major plague.
And over here, I wanted to give once again shout out to artists. That plague screen do be nice. It do be nice.
It is very nice, and I like we've gone with more of these big like story narrative events for some special occasions, such as the Black Death coming in and really ruining your day.
A question from Discord from Supernova47X. Does plague immunity work per character or on the county level?
So there's 2 different values. There's epidemic resistance, which is per province. Different things will give you modifiers towards epidemic resistance. Each character has a infection chance if they are in a infected barony. This depends on the type of plague and on their traits, the wonderful so-called social distancing value that Veronica has made, basically, for how likely it is you are a somewhat cleaner, nasty person versus just going to go out even when there's rats killing everyone nearby.
And as we can see, as the Black Death spreads through, we have a bunch of events giving us a fighting chance. As much as fighting chance there is against Black Death. However, you still have that hope that something can actually happen.
Yeah, is it in our realm now?
Oh yes, it's definitely 100% in our realm and in our capital.
Lovely. So we can take a couple of actions to try and deal with it.
We can isolate capital or enter seclusion as well. However, I will be not taking these as
we're gonna watch the death come for us.
I do want to see some death.
We ain't scared of no rats.
Although I have a very good court physician, so we'll see.
Fire the good court physician. Let's see what happens on true
terrible
Black Death hardcore mode.
Terrible.
So as yeah, when you've got very big plagues like the Black Death, the map gets a lot of blood and stains on it, which there is a setting that you can turn them off with if you don't want to see them. And if you zoom in very close to the map, we replace the blood stains with kind of just a blackened, ghostly atmosphere with no sound and various different plague bats and birds and crows and grave sites, funeral pyres. It's not a fun place to be.
My capital is surprisingly good. It only has 57%, 57
not too bad.
resistance. So I think we may actually survive this
That's
one.
because you built a lot of things for it. So as you can
That's
see, there's a
true.
variety of buildings that you can get that can up your plague resistance. You can get to 100 plague resistance as well. There's an achievement for that. Surviving a plague by just having 1,000,000 plague resistance, so it doesn't do anything to you.
There's also an achievement of contracting bubonic plague and curing from it. Very hard. Took me like 50 tries, I think.
Yeah. Once you've got it, you're probably dead.
Yeah.
So, question from Past Squirrel 2315 on Reddit. Is there a reason for the selection of measles, holy fire, and dysentery coming to the game? Why those illnesses specifically?
Mostly because they fit with the spreading nature of the epidemics very well. Like they can be actual epidemics that spread, with the exception kind of being of holy fire or ergotism as we know it now. That is an epidemic that will appear but not actually spread anywhere else. That one is there because it's fun and cool mostly.
Because the animators thought it was funny.
Pretty much.
Okay, Silence from the Paradox Forum wants to know why Legends of the Dead is coming out before Roads to Power.
Because it is. That's basically the reason. We started working on it at a different time to Roads to Power, and it was a shorter focus for a DLC. You know, the big major expansions are many more months, so we were a bit more focused on this theming and timing.
And as we can see,
A particularly concerning question from Twitch there. Can you catch the plague and then seduce another person to spread it?
I mean, I guess. Like, if they're in the same place as you, they'll also catch you. I don't think we transmit the plague as a sexually transmitted disease specifically, but, you know, you do you, man. You try. I don't think anyone's going to want to sleep with you if you, like, got pusses and boils and nastiness coming out of you, but hey, maybe that's just me.
also a very fun note here. Health, the Reaper approaches.
Oh, that's new. I hadn't seen that before.
Yeah, very
That's
on point.
very cool.
Very on point. But yeah, as we can also see, the Black Death follows somewhat historical path. It avoids Poland, as it historically did. 100% funny because I'm Polish myself, and I love
Based.
staying over there.
Based in Poland pilled.
It also avoids north of Italy, some mountains over here. So it does have a pretty good spread. Also, if you do not play until like 1350s, for example, which I highly recommend, by the way, there's an organic setting for Black Death. What that does, it gives you a pretty good chance of actually, if you have a high development, it will around that time spawn a Black Death. My lover died because of Black Death. There we go.
F.
That's a big F in the chat.
Yeah, F's in the chat.
L plus ratio.
Can we see what the world map looks like in the plague view now?
The what map?
Plague map.
The plague map. Oh,
mode.
let me tell you,
Yep.
it's getting there.
There we go. You can see that some places are starting to recover a little bit from their adventures with the Black Death. How long it will last in any individual province is, you know, semi-random between some boundaries. And it's killed, what's that, like 3,500 people so far?
3,000. Yep.
And those are named characters.
Those are
right?
all named characters. All of those fatalities are an actual real character that exists in the game. We don't have any extra like fudged numbers for how many are dead, so it's really going through and culling those people very effectively.
Also, one other thing I wanted to point out is where's the screen? It will take down development. As you can see, minus 80 to 84 points of development.
Ugh.
That do be going down.
Yeah, which is good because we wanted it to be a very impactful source of kind of development decline because there's not, you know, there's a lot of modifiers that can give you development. This is one of the big ones that lowers it, as well as calling into question your kind of legitimacy within the world, given that you are clearly being punished by God.
I've got another question from Twitch here. How does it affect stationed men-at-arms and levies?
It doesn't directly affect the stationed men-at-arms and levies. There are, I think, modifiers that affect general, like, supplies and the like, but stationed men-at-arms and levies is mostly about just stationing someone to receive the benefits of the building. It doesn't directly change that mechanic, though.
There are, however, events that if you do not pay them during a plague, they do be getting mad.
Yes, they do be game. And now you get to see the wonderful joy of the like splotchy recovering map. As everywhere's slowly but surely realizing that the Black Death is ending. And looking at how many of their family members are left over and potentially being quite happy about their succession.
One of the playthroughs I've had, I've set up a Black Death to be unrestricted. So it basically hit me in 1066, which was very funny. However, that resulted in some weird successions that I didn't even know were possible. When I was playing in Sweden, I suddenly received a County of Holland because apparently I've had some ancestor over there, which destroyed my achievement run because I had to be a count only for the plague resistance. So
oh, that's very funny.
it was actually very funny.
So just to reiterate, yes, the fatality count is named characters. That's not random nobodies, that's nobles.
Well, nobles and courtiers who are at least vaguely important.
Important people.
They're not just random peasants on the ground, though. No one cares about those guys.
And in one of the playthroughs, it actually reached to about 8,000 people.
Damn.
Okay, we are approaching the end of our hour here. So thank you for watching, everybody. We'll be releasing Legends of the Dead later this evening. But before we go, we want to premiere our release trailer for Legends of the Dead. So keep an eye out for that, especially at the end where we have a fun collaboration that we will discuss more later this evening. So thanks for joining us today.
Hope you all enjoy Legends of the Dead.
Yes.
The crown now rests upon my head, and the first chapter of my legend is about to unfold. The tales of my reign shall extend far beyond our borders, and history will unveil whether they tell of prosperity or hardship. For a dark shadow looms over our lands. As darkness falls, people will fall with it. So I shall act soon, for them and my legacy.